Considering it's no longer possible for Hollywood to go 5 minutes without releasing another superhero movie, it's pretty safe to assume that most of us have fantasized about a superpower that would make our lives so much better. Unfortunately, as well as great responsibility, great power also comes with a big old list of caveats and drawbacks.
You could set fire to Earth's atmosphere and destroy all human life as we know it.
I'm Stevie from WhatCulture.com, and here are 8 superpowers that would actually suck. Number 8. Invisibility. Pro tip, if someone says their ideal superpower would be invisibility, there is an 83% chance that they are at least a little bit of a creep. Anyway, whether you're using your invisible superpowers for good or ill, sneaking into the ladies' changing rooms would essentially be pointless, as the power of invisibility would likely render you completely blind. Your eyes work by reflecting light into your retinas, which is then picked up by rods and cones, allowing you to see. However, presuming your eyeballs are as invisible as the rest of you, the light would pass straight through them and you would be plunged into a life of eternal darkness. Number 7. Super speed. So the Flash can supposedly run as fast or faster, depending on who you're talking to, than the speed of light. This super speed, however, comes at a price, and we can blame Einstein for this one. According to special relativity, an object's velocity will affect the speed at which time passes for them. Basically, the faster you go, the slower time appears to run, and time will slow down exponentially as you approach the speed of light. The upshot of this is that your friends and loved ones will appear to wither, age and die at a faster rate than you. That's if the friction of the air around you didn't cause your skin to attractively slough off. Number 6. Teleportation. Okay, so super speed is a no-go, but surely teleportation gets rid of those problems? No! Short of breaking your atoms down and physically mailing them to your destination, teleportation would work by disintegrating you at one end, sending the information to your destination and using it to build an exact replica of you. This all leads to the inevitable existential crisis that goes along with being a copy of a copy of a copy, and you still wouldn't be able to transport yourself instantaneously because nothing, not even information, can travel faster than the speed of light. Number 5. Talking to animals. Granted, a lot of the superheroes that can talk to animals are pretty lame, and perhaps there's a good reason why. Animals, by human standards, are idiots. It sounds mean, but there's definitely a reason why we're at the top of the food chain, and it's not because we have the biggest fangs and the sharpest claws. As much as we coo at the intelligence of other animals, their strengths do not lie in language, and the reality of talking to an animal will most likely consist of a series of broken nouns screeched at you at a high volume.
Biscuits. Red biscuits, black biscuits.
Is that all you think about?
They'll probably be telling you to either back off, bring food, or just sort of screaming. Being an animal is scary. Number 4. Time control. Wouldn't it be amazing? Rather than hitting snooze in the mornings, you could just hit pause on time instead and finally get a proper night's sleep until you suffocate moments later because all of the air is essentially frozen solid around you. Okay, perhaps air, for some reason, like joy and a good narrative, gets a pass, so you finally get up and decide to make some coffee. Flipping the switch on the kettle, you realise it doesn't work because the electricity doesn't flow in this one infinitesimal moment of frozen time. It doesn't matter anyway because the water won't come out of the tap, your phone, your car and your lights don't work. You've basically sent yourself back to the Middle Ages but without anyone to talk to. Number 3. Being impervious to pain. Pain is your defense mechanism against damage.
Just a flesh wound.
If it felt really, really lovely to leave your hand on the stovetop, it would very soon not be a hand and a charred stump instead. Resistance to pain would mean that you could continue to walk menacingly towards your opponent on the battlefield, but it would also turn you into a quivering mass of broken bones and brain damage within the month.
No pain! No pain! No pain!
So instead of thinking of pain as a weakness, think of it as a superpower in itself. It's basically one of the most sophisticated damage report systems in the world. Number 2. Super strength. Well, it would certainly make carrying your shopping home a bit easier, but superhuman strength would, by and large, suck. Let's not beat about the bush here, I'm mainly talking about sex. The orgasm, when studied in MRI machines, appears to involve the spasmic loss of muscle control similar to an epileptic fit. Now suppose you go to lovingly run your fingers through your partner's hair when the big O hits. You probably run the risk of ripping their head clean off, always a mood killer. Even if you nobly abstain from earthly pleasures in order to use your strength for superhero stuff, you are still, unfortunately, at the mercy of the laws of physics. Say some children are trapped beneath a huge boulder. Keeping your back straight, important, you throw all of your strength into lifting it clear, whereupon you are promptly driven into the earth as the boulder's entire weight is focused through your 2 narrow feet. And you can forget about stopping that runaway train. Chances are you'll just barrel straight through it like a tennis racket through jelly. Number 1. Flight. Most of us have fantasized about soaring among the birds. It would, however, be probably one of the most unpleasant experiences of your life. You'll need an air supply and maybe a windshield to stop errant birds from ripping you in half, and perhaps a navigation system. Congratulations, you've just built yourself an aeroplane. Alternatively, you could fly low and slow, a great party trick but not very flipping useful. Superman flight also guns through a fair amount of energy. It's been calculated an 8-hour flight would torch through 207 billion joules of energy. The average daily intake of 2,000 calories only adds up to about 8,368,000 joules. So you would have to eat an entire lifetime's worth of calories for that one flight. Even if you could draw your energy from the sun, like Supes, then you would have to bask in the sun like a reptile for over 100 years to absorb enough energy. Maybe just take the stairs? If you think we've missed an ill-thought-out superpower, then let us know below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. You can also follow What Culture Science on Twitter or like us on Facebook for loads more science stuff in your brainbox. I'm Stevie from whatculture.com, and I'll see you soon.